back to my channel. Today's episode, we will be creating a team chooser interface inside Roblox Studio. So let's get started. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and create that we want in a game. So let me just make a call police, and I recommend turning this auto assignable thing to off, because otherwise people will get a team chosen for them before they actually get to decide for themselves. So let's turn it off. Let me just make a few other roles. Inmate, and just, I don't know, let's just call this one, I don't know. Okay, so let's go under starter GUI and let's insert a screen GUI, and let's just name it team GUI. Okay, now let's go ahead and turn this reset on spawn thing to false, but this is entirely up to you. But in my opinion, it's kind of annoying to get this prompt every time that you die. So I'm gonna turn it off. Then I will be adding first let's go ahead and design what it's gonna look like. So I will be inserting a text level, and I will set the texture I will set the anchor point to 0.50, and the same thing with the position. Actually, I will change the Y position just a little bit, like this, and I'll be text say something like choose team, and I'll set the size of the text to something like 0.3, 0.1. I'll set the background transparency to 1, and then I'll set the color to white and make it bold, and let's name this title label. Okay, so what we should actually do is make a new canvas group, make it invisible, the size to 1, then we'll drag the title into it. Now we can insert a frame. Let's name this one container. Let's set the anchor point to the same as the level. Set the X position to 0.5, the Y position to maybe 175. And let's set the size to 0.5. Yeah, I can make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I'll set the background transparency to 1. I'll be adding a UI grid, also a UI aspect ratio constraint. And I'll set the size to 0.15, and the padding to 10 on the offset and not on the scale. And let's set the horizontal alignment to center. And let's just design our button. So it's kind of small. I'll actually set the cell size to 0.275. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now we'll set the border size pixel to 0, and the text scaled to true. Now we'll also be adding a UI padding because text is a little bit too big. Let's just look at this 0.05 on both left and right. Now we can see that it already looks a lot better, and we can make this light. Yeah, that works. And what more can we add to it? Maybe let's add a UI stroke. Set the apply stroke mode to border thickness to 3, and the color can just stay as it is, but we can set this to matter because it has these square-y borders, if that's a word, I don't even know. But let's make it be like this, and let's set the background transparency 1, and let's make script local script. Let's drag the button under the script, and let's rename it to team button, and let's set the visibility to false. Now what we want to do is first get our team service, this one down here, and we are also going to be making some tweens, which are basically like animations. Make sure to watch so let's get tween series as well, which will be animating our interface. So now we can go ahead and make an initialize function, because I like those. So we're gonna make a function, and we will get all of the theme. So let's go ahead and create a initialize function, which will be fired when the game starts, or when the player joins the game, basically. And let's just call it down here so we don't forget it. Then what we want to do here is basically loop through all of the teams. So I don't know, police and inmate. Let's do for team in pairs. This one we are not going to use it, so I'm just going to set it to this line thing, and let's get all of the teams. And for each of the teams, we will be cloning this button and putting it into this. So let's just get 2 new variables. The team button we will use. And where is the team button? And where is this button? Well, it's inside our script. Let's do script, wait for child, because we want to wait and make sure it's there, because sometimes it will render before the object, and yeah, the object will not be there yet, and it's gonna error, not work. We're doing this just to make sure that everything is in order. We will also be getting our container frame. The local container equals, and where is our container? It's inside the canvas group, and then container. And so we will do scripts parent, and then we will get the container. So we need to make a variable here, which basically just copies our button and set the button's name to the team's name. Okay. We also want to change the text property to the team's name. This is kind of annoying, but if we want to get the color, we cannot just get the team.color, because they use a different kind of color. Instead of just a normal color 3 value like RGB, they use brick color. So what we need to do is create a new part and set the parts.brick color to the team.team color, and then we can set the button background color to part.color, and also the button stroke thing color to the part.color. And after this, we don't need part ever again, so we will just be destroying it, forgetting about. Okay, now we have the color and stuff. So now let's go ahead and set the parent of the button to the container, but we need to make sure it's visible first. Now I want to add some nice looking animations to our buttons. So let's do button dot mouse enter, because we want like this mouse enter, and also a mouse leave animation. We will be making our animations right here, and we need to create our animation or tween info. So let's do tween info. And the first property is the time, and I want it to take like maybe 4 seconds. And I don't really care about these eating styles thing right now because it's not important to me, but you guys can search these up if you need. So first of all, we need to choose what we want to tween. And what do we want to tween? We want to tween the button. Then we need to get our tween info, and we will, what property will we tween? We will tween the background transparency to 0. Actually guys, make sure to go to this button and turn off auto button color. Then we complete the tween. Let's just copy this, set this 1, and this to mouse leave. Now we also need our when a button click event. So let's do this. So when a person clicks a button, we want to let the server know that the person did click this button. So let's go ahead and create something called a remote event. And basically, there are 2 types of scripts. One is on the client, one is on the server, or there's also module scripts and stuff, but that's 2 events for now. So don't just ignore. Basically, there are 2 types of scripts. That's not really true, but just think that it is for now. So we have local scripts and we have server-sided scripts. So if we have a local script and okay, so we have this button event right here, and we need to make the server know that the player clicked on this button and that he's ready to change. Let's go under replicated storage and create a new remote event, and let's name it change team event. Okay, great. And now we need to make a variable for our event, but first we need to get the replicated storage service. Let's just get change team event equals. Okay, so now we have our event, but there's one more thing that I want to add. Is something called debounce. So basically, if a person uses an auto clicker or something, or just is a really fast presser, might press the button more than once, and that's just weird. And also he can click on other buttons, and then it's just weird. So let's just make sure the player can only click once. So if not db, then db equals true. If not db, then db equals true. Okay, so let's get our change team event. So let's let the server know. And what kind of information does the server know? And what kind of information does the server need to know? It needs to know what the name of our team is. And we already set the button's name to the team name, so let's just get the button.name instead. Now we can create another script, but under server script service, let's do it team handler. Also set the name of the other one to local team handler. Let's just copy like this. Also put at the top. Okay, so let's do change team event on player. Now we didn't type this player thingy down here, but it's automatically there. So our thing that we put inside the button.name thing will be the second side of this. Do team. And just to make sure that the team exists, we will check if it exists. Okay. So I also want to add one more little animation thing. So let's do local function close because we want to close our canvas group. Let's do local 3 this. And we want to set the position to something like 0, 0, 0. Like this. That's actually wrong. I'm actually going to do this instead. And we also want to set the group transparency. Let's just play this tween. When this tween is finished, we might as well just disable the entire interface because it's not going to be used. Yeah, okay, let's go and test this out. I wrote it correctly. Okay. Oh. What? There is no. Oh, of course. I wrote transparent wrong. To fix this. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And let's click. Boom. Our team changed, but we forgot to close down here. And let's also just, I know it's ugly, but we'll set the text stroke transparency 0 because otherwise sometimes the text's color will be weird. You know what? I'm actually gonna set the stroke color to white. I'm gonna test one more time. Yeah. Okay. So buttons work. And I will click. Okay. Our teams. Oh my god. I always do this. Tween info, not TI, because yeah. Let's test again. Boom. It works. So as you can see, everything works. I'm very thankful you decided to watch my video. And I'm very thankful that you will subscribe because you will. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.